Good morning, everyone. Rise and shine. It is truly Mercury retrograde time. So it's been about 30 minutes we've been trying to get on. Carrie Lee's still trying. We're gonna do the best we can. The show today is really good. Carrie Lee produced it. So if we can't get through the entire show today, what we will do is we'll redo it. We'll just redo it next week. So anyways, rise and shine. It is Green Nurse Sherry solo time. All right, girl. Carrie Lee, you got this. You got this. Well, listen, while we're waiting for Carrie Lee to work with Mercury, actually there are six planets in retrograde, which means everything goes backwards. And that includes electronics, conversations, trips, business, all kinds of stuff just happens. And we really need to just say, Mercury from up above, I trust you with all my love. Please help us get through today so we don't go crazy in any way. All right, Carrie Lee, I know you're out there and I know you can do this. So anyways, y'all, I'm just going to get this show started. And here we go. Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, Rise and Shine, Wake and Bake Time. We're here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. And you're going to hear that right now in about 1 second. What I'm doing is I'm going to start this handy dance. She's here. Let's see. She did it. Okay. Listen, girl, let me just tell you, no shutting down over Mercury.
No.
Okay, so here it is. Mercury, we love you. Please come down from up above and help us. Just give, you know me. I'm gonna make a meta out of it. Mercury for you, Mercury for me, Mercury for we.
Extra THC for me.
That's right, girl.
This is really stressful.
And you know what, though? This is the thing. It need not be stressful. And the reason why is because we're showing up every day to bring you guys to, and look at my earbuds are in and they're not even working.
Here's the thing. I'm an Aquarius, so technology is like my best friend, and I usually never have trouble, but wow.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. So anyways, you know what we're going to do? That's okay, hacker.
Yeah, hacker.
What we're going to do is we're just going to get started. We're going to get started with the show.
Let's
All right, here we go. Let's do it.
We changed the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Cannabis that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
All right, here we go. Uh-oh, she's frozen. I love you, Carrie Lee. Oh, here we go. Mercury, Mercury. So listen, y'all, growing your health. We're here to grow your health through growing in cannabis. And growing in cannabis, what does that really mean? Well, for me, it means growing in cannabis knowledge and wisdom and really, truly listening to the people. You know, we need to get the message out there. You know, we need to decrease stigma. We need to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. It's okay to feel good. That's the message I'm going to say over and over again. So welcome to the show. Nurse Carrie Lee is from Iowa, and hopefully she'll be buzzing right back in here. We just don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to introduce her anyway. So Carrie Lee's been one of the green nurses for a while now. She actually is a registered patient in Iowa's medical cannabidiol program. She's a nursing supervisor and mentor within the Green Nurse Holistic Caring community. She's a certified ketamine nurse guide for Keta MD, CEO of Soul Thrive Consulting, and she's a cannabis stigma fighter. You know, cannabis stigma fighter. Really, you know, what does that mean? Okay, so we have a lot of people, mental challenges, mental health, medical diagnoses, psychiatric problems. So the cannabis stigma fighter in her is basically surrounding how mental patients can use the plant with proper education, monitoring, and follow-up, right? We need to allow patients to explore medicines that actually may work in conjunction with cannabis, may help patients get off of other harmful pharmaceuticals that we know can actually cause more problems than good. We're not anti-pharma here, but we are about pro-education. I'm going to just say it, educating and empowering. You know, here we are in a time of revolutionary change. We're here to change the paradigm and the dialogue around what it means to feel good and be high. So Carrie Lee's back. And I just did a nice little intro to you, my beautiful little green nurse goddess over in Ohio. I even said it wrong. Here we go. Iowa. I just, wait. Here we go. But anyways, I was just introducing everyone to you because I knew you were going to be back because I was manifesting Carrie Lee back on my screen. So Carrie Lee, we're continuing to have a dialogue around, you know, seasonal affective disorder. And we're going to actually focus on food. Fun FOODIE FRI-HiGH-DAY.
Yes.
And we have actually a nice little video from Denise that we're going to show in a minute. But what I want to do is just, you know, let's just review some of the stuff that we talked about this week in a few minutes. But first, since we are dealing with technical issues and frustration, I think it would be really good to pull a card. Don't you?
Oh yeah, you read my mind. You're speaking my love language.
Love language. So here it is we pull out. Carrie Lee will explain what the cards are, but the basic thing is it's here to stimulate new thought patterns, really here to stimulate your ability to look at things from a different perspective and just to start asking questions about some of the thoughts that go on in your mind. Let me just tell you, I've been doing cards for a long time, for 16 years. And I kind of kept it in the closet because of the stigma around that. Like, ooh, she's a little woo-woo. Well, guess what? I need woo, you need woo, and we all need a little woo-woo for sure. So here we go. Surrender cards. What do we got going on here?
So again, the power of surrender. It's something, a tool I use to help flip the switch, flip the story on negative core beliefs and those toxic, negative, ruminating thoughts. So I've shuffled. I'm going to split it in 3. What number do you pick this morning?
I'm picking number 1. Because you know what? Number 1 is so fun, and it's Fun FRI-HiGH-DAY.
Ooh, this is a good one. Well, they're all good ones, but I don't know. Yeah. Ready? Here we go.
Yep.
Surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. Oh my God, I love this one. Yes, trust yourself. Trust yourself, love yourself, believe in yourself, have faith. universe provides always, 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 but most importantly, self-trust.
Yeah,
What
there it
happens,
is.
what happens with people that have suffered trauma, or
Don't
any, they don't
trust.
they begin to not trust themselves and question like literally everything. So that's a
Yeah.
wonderful
So,
card.
well, here's the thing too, Carrie Lee. So, we're talking about trust. How has cannabinoid therapeutics improved your relationship so you can trust more?
It definitely opens up that mind. I think that's always my go-to. It just opens up, it's quiet and stifles, the negative self-talk, enough to where you can open, and whatever you're studying, whatever you're practicing, whatever you're researching or doing, you can really sink into that,
Yeah.
in such a way that you really can move the needle and make improvements in whatever it is you're shooting for, so.
I love that. Move the needle. Yeah. So here we are. We finally made it in. How many minutes are we into the show? Probably like halfway through, but that's okay. At
Oh my
least we
gosh.
it's all
But
good. And we're not sad.
we're not sad because it's Friday. It's
It's
Friday.
Friday. Exactly. But we're going to
So,
talk about seasonal affective disorder or major depressive disorder with a seasonal component because we're getting into that time of year. I don't even know when the time changes, but using less and less light is going to be present. And we all know the plant loves to grow towards the light. Well, guess what? So do us humans. Light is really, really essential for our mind, our body, and our spirit. And so Carrie Lee has been tackling the amazing subject of, seasonal affective disorder, what it looks like, some of the traditional therapies that have been prescribed. Also, we looked at the history of seasonal affective disorder, which was really fascinating. Well, we're going to keep reviewing it because it's good stuff. And now we're getting into the Daily 5 to Thrive. We've been covering a different aspect of Carrie Lee's Daily 5 to Thrive, and all of those Daily 5 to Thrive tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs all support and nourish the endocannabinoid system. So Carrie Lee, let's do a quick review of SAD and pick our Daily 5 modality today.
yeah. So basically, seasonal affective disorder, the further away from the equator that you are, the higher the risk that you will encounter this. So what
Yeah.
happens is, because we are exposed to less sunlight, the days are shorter in the fall and winter, right?
Yeah.
We produce less vitamin D. Our serotonin levels can tend to decrease and drop, right? So this causes the depression. Some of the signs and symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, obviously lack of energy, excessive sleep, low sex drive, voracious appetite, excessive carbohydrate cravings, various forms of anxiety. Anxiety is a very big component to seasonal affective disorder, especially in terms of your perception being skewed, social anxiety, agoraphobia. Today, what I'm talking about is nutrition and hydration as it correlates to
There
seasonal
we
affective
go.
disorder. So, one of
Let's
the
get into it.
hallmark issues with nutrition and seasonal affective disorders, that SAD patients battle both increased appetite and carbohydrate cravings. And so, most of our serotonin is actually produced in our gut. So when we're reaching for processed foods and foods that are like packed with sugar, it suppresses that production of healthy gut bacteria, right? So,
Yep.
people with SAD already have deficient levels of
Of
serotonin.
serotonin. Yeah.
So it is also thought that because of this deficiency, this is what leads to those really, heinous carb cravings. And let me tell you, I'm freaking battling that already. Okay. It sucks.
Right.
Um,
So the interesting
so,
thing too is just think about the pleasure and reward. So even our dopamine, right? So you think about, so we have all of these neurotransmitter signaling systems. We are affected by major depression with a seasonal component, all the other things that create the spiraling down. And diet, we talk about diet and nutrition as being one of the major components of supporting and nourishing the endocannabinoid system. So if you just think, right, you think about when I teach weight management, when you're grabbing for those things, a couple of different things that you're doing, right? The decreasing in serotonin, Then you're having the pleasure reward of dopamine, which then further decreases your dopamine levels. Then that completely 100% affects your brain, because we know gut health and mind health, that mind-gut connection, our enteric nervous system from our mouth to our butt communicates to our central nervous system via the endocannabinoid system.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense, right?
It does. And, you know, and you pair with that thought process also, you know, the physiological aspect of what happens to create this vicious cycle of cravings. When you're craving high glycemic foods like potatoes, cakes, pasta, donuts, these foods, they break down and metabolize very quickly in our system. So yeah, we get like this energy boost, we get this rush of euphoria from them, but you know, our bodies, you know, release insulin to help reduce, you know, that the sugar levels from those food. This leads to that energy crash, energy mood crash, right? So what do we do when we're crashing? We're like reaching for that, you know, jar of cookies again. Well, let me just have a couple more cookies. Everything's going to be right with the world. Boom, boom, boom. You know, I think the important thing here is that, you know, when you're constantly reaching for these high glycemic foods, you know, you could also be like, you know, leading into, oh wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Binge eating, you know, emotional eating, you know, you're relying on it as a crutch, as a staple, you know. So another thing that I found really fascinating, this, I'm so glad that I refreshed and reread this chapter in his book. Insulin also pushes tryptophan from the blood to the brain. This is an amino acid that is responsible for boosting serotonin levels. So this is why I say, Nurse Carrie Lee says, eat a banana a day to keep depression at bay, because bananas are rich in tryptophan as well. So if that helps us boost our serotonin, you know, food is thy medicine. Who did that?
It is. Yeah.
It's really true. It's really, really true.
It is true.
Back to that physiological process. So over time, as our pancreas, you know, is working harder and harder and harder to constantly release insulin to try to get those sugar levels down, you know, I mean, you're leading to metabolic syndrome, you're leading to, you know, diabetes. When you add abdominal fat mix, it increases your risk of that metabolic syndrome. So, you know, this is where I love CBD.
Yes.
You know, why? Number one, CBD may boost serotonin levels, which we need help in that department with affective disorder. Something else CBD does, it helps us regulate our blood sugar levels. So this, it helps a sad patient really, really combat, or at least try to maintain, you know, so they're not packing on.
Steady glycemic index. That's what it is. We want a steady glycemic index. And if you think about how the endocannabinoid system works, it's an on-off switch going on and off all day long. If we don't produce enough of our own internal endogenous cannabinoids, right, that on-off switch is limited. Messages don't get where they need to go. Things don't happen the way they need to happen. Our body is always trying to auto-regulate, and it doesn't do a good job if we don't have the necessary tools. The other thing too, when you think about sugar, blood sugar regulation, metabolic syndrome, right, and leading to type 2 diabetes. So what happens is you have all of this sugar circulating in your system, right? And you're confusing your pancreas about releasing insulin. So the insulin actually carries the sugar into the cells. So metabolic syndrome that leads to type 2 diabetes is that we still produce a little bit of insulin, not as much, but our body doesn't know how to use it. It becomes a functional problem, right? So like insulin is necessary for blood sugar levels to be maintained. It's doing it all day long. We want to have it steady. But if we do have a endocannabinoid deficiency and we're doing things that are not in our best and highest interest to support that, what happens? We become out of balance, and it just makes sense. And I love that CBD boosting that regulation piece of it. You know, the CBD diet, I like a couple of years ago when cannabis was becoming, everyone was trying to get on the bus. And I started seeing companies specifically, right? CBD diet, and here's the thing too, is if you
Yeah.
think about cannabinoids, there's a lot of different types of cannabinoids, tons of different cannabinoids that do different things in our body. And I know for a fact, for me, I have to particularly look at specific ingredients because I've had cannabis suppress my appetite, believe it or not. I get excited when I get the munchies, believe it
Yeah.
or not,
I
you know?
that if you're I want to bring that up, that if you're can you hear me? Oh my God, what's going on?
You're kind of going in and out.
No,
It's
I was
okay.
gonna say, if you're battling this increase in I'm sorry.
That's
I'll
okay,
zip it.
girl. Well, so it is what it is. We're just gonna carry on. So here's the thing too, that Carrie Lee writes in these awesome notes, right? So back to the seasonal affective disorder. A lot of times people become less motivated, right? And so if they're less motivated and they're depressed and not feeling good, they may move a lot less, and then what happens? You're moving a lot less, triggers the eating, the food gain, the weight gain. And so one of the things you wrote in your notes, Carrie Lee, is that long-term weight gain or chronic fluctuations of body weight can lead to that metabolic syndrome, can lead to eating disorders, and so much more. And also the fluctuations in weight gain, I don't think people truly understand too, is that when you reach a particular weight and you want to go lose weight, you want to build muscle and lose fat. So I used to teach at 3 Women's Gyms on nutrition and helping women, to guide them on weight loss. And what they didn't realize is that every time you gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, you actually lose more muscle mass than you do fat. So it's really, really interesting, how that all works. So when you are in the process of choosing healthy foods, motion is the lotion, to keep things going, to keep our endocannabinoid system going on and off appropriately to give us those messages. So what can we focus on nutrition wise, Carrie Lee? What do we got here? What are some of the better choices?
Well, I think predominantly low carb, high protein. Can you hear me? No.
Yeah,
I
it's
I
okay.
just want to leave because it's so annoying. I'm just going to be honest.
Okay, so here we're going to do
Sorry,
right now.
there must be
Let's take a
something
deep
going on with
breath.
the internet, and it's
Yeah, here it is. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to take a deep breath. If you want to go, you can go and I can finish up, or we can just sit and you can smile and let the world see your beautiful face. It's up to you.
Oh, yeah, I love you. You're so good.
It's all good. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I'm not going to fuck with Mercury retrograde. I'm just going to say,
out?
Bring it on, bitches.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I'll just sit here and smile.
All right, you smile, girl. All right, I'm going to finish your notes.
Smoke and smile,
You
and
smoke.
you can finish this up. How
Hey,
about
listen,
that?
can I tell you, girl? Carrie Lee, Nurse Carrie Lee, this is our show, and we can show up however we want. And if Mercury grade is not in our favor, well, guess what? It's all good. All right, so let's get back to nutrition, seasonal affective disorder, and what can we focus on when we have major depressive disorder with a seasonal component in regards to supporting the endocannabinoid system. We want to look at low carbohydrate, high protein, nutrient dense protein that also supports our brain health, right? Foods such as eggs, fish, that's fatty, packed with omega-3s like sardines, salmon, tuna, shrimp, yogurt, Greek low-fat yogurt with low sugar. The other thing that Carrie Lee recommends, their daily 5 to thrive, is plant-based. But watch out, it's really important to look for high glycemic during the seasonal depressions because people do often have those cycles of overeating and binging. So choosing fresh fruits and veggies to promote what? Gut health, to promote, I like it, adequate, healthy bowel movements, right? Thanks to the high water and fiber content of those fruits and vegetables. So low carb diets also tend to lead to constipation, right? And we don't want things to be stuck in our gut. We want to keep things moving. So go for dark leafy greens like spinach and kale to battle inflammation, low glycemic fruits like berries and avocado that are high in heart healthy fats, nuts and seeds like walnuts, unsalted flower seeds, almonds, Beans, 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 the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. So beans are rich in protein, but metabolize really slowly thanks to their complex carb status, right? So slower metabolizing foods, think about this, slow and steady, nutrient dense fuel being released. Slow and steady wins the race. You know, we want to have that smooth glycemic index. We want our endocannabinoid system going on and off like a nice little teeter-totter to keep us in homeostasis and balance. Other thing Carrie Lee mentions, which I love, hydration, hydration, hydration is also the key to reducing cravings. Now, I'm not saying you need to go drink 2 pots of coffee or a bottle of soda or a bottle of juice. The more water that you can get in. When I was teaching at a women's gym, the recommendation, unless they had a water restriction for medical reasons, was drinking half your body weight in water, right? So if you weigh 160 pounds, you should have at least 80 ounces of water a day. For each cup of coffee that you have, you must supplement with water. For each alcoholic drink that you have, you must supplement with water. We're not alcohol fans. We're going to get into that on another show. So when you reach for that water and you're thirsty, the chances are you're already dehydrated. Dehydration can lead to cravings. If you're hungry, drink some water. Wait a few minutes. And if you're still hungry, go proceed to those healthy snacks that Carrie Lee mentioned. I love this one, Carrie Lee. Intermittent fasting helps us lose weight and maintain weight loss. It improves mental health by boosting levels of BDNF, which I forget what that word means. What is the BDNF, Carrie Lee? BDNF. I'm like, oh, those are, okay. Those that battle major depression and anxiety are known to have chronic lower levels. I'm not sure what that is. If you want to type it in, BDNF.
Brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
Okay, I didn't know what that was. Oh, brain-derived
neurotrophic factor.
Okay, that's a big word. Okay. Yeah. So BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This is a new one for me. You know what? I'm so grateful that you're teaching me this because I didn't know this, and I've been a nurse for 33 years. So here we go. Neuroprotective that increases the resistance to damage and promotes the growth of new neurons. So think about what else. What else protects our brain? CBD. Ooh, Carrie Lee, I didn't know about this. Here's to a cup of joy. I've got some mushrooms in my coffee. So fungus, specifically psilocybin, is known to increase BDNF through microdosing. So here we go. We have microdosing and then we have macrodosing. And that's a whole other show that we're going to get into. Carrie Lee is going to be developing our psychedelic nurse guide program at the Green Nurse. Her and Jamie Rollins are going to be paired up and we're going to be bringing new programs. So I thought I'd give you that little hint. So keto diet, we like, tends to be a big hit among the seasonal affective disorder community, which makes sense because you're literally cutting out most carbs, but it is a sustainable diet over time. It can be if you're making the wise choices. So what I am going to pull up now is Denise, Green Nurse Denise. If you are out there, I love you, girl. She is our foodie nurse. You know, she's also energized living. She is focused on our events, Green Nurse retreats, bringing that experiential learning. And so this is the part that I love is all of us focus on the endocannabinoid system. And Denise is all about food. I love going to her house. She has the best stuff to eat. She's really intentional. She pairs things really well, very, very knowledgeable and educated. So she created this nice little video for you all that I am going to put up right now. So let's see, share screen. I hope this works. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Share. Okay, let me hit. Okay, Mercury's on my side. Here we go. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can get her off of here. Remove from studio. Here we go. Uh-oh. Ha! And we're back. Wasn't that awesome? Green Nurse Denise, Mercury retrograde was in favor of us showing that video, which I love. Great video. So really, really excited to also, before we end, want to give you guys a little scoop. It is October 1st. It's Women's Health Month. We're going to be talking a lot in October about women's health, menopause, hormones, premenstrual syndrome, endometriosis, anything to do with women's health, we're going to be discussing. And we actually have Holistic Caring is having a sale. Whoops. What happened there? Oh, Carrie. Now we have two of Carrie Lee. Let's hear share screen. So I want to put this little handy dandy little slide up. There we go. I'm not sure how that looks. But where's Carrie Lee? I'm going to go here. There we go. There's the slide. All right. We're working on this. Amadeus, where are you when we need you? So here we go. We want you to go to Holistic Caring. The link right down there is actually the link to the community. So the Holistic Caring Green Nurse community, where all of us nurses live, we're really here. We have a program. It's an ecosystem for patients and providers. And what we're doing is we are providing a lot of free education, but we also have some programs that you're able to purchase. And so all of the programs at Holistic Caring are 25% off. You don't have to purchase a program to be part of the community. We want you to come in. We do offer a free introductory to cannabis course, free patient portal and support group, free book club, and you don't even need to own the book, which is amazing, and a free monthly webinar. And so we're actually introducing some new programs, and I'm not supposed to tell, but I'm going to tell you all anyways. Danielle Simone Lebrun wrote The Weed Mom. And so in honor of Women's Health Month, I think by the end of the month, we're going to be launching her program, which is all about women, moms, women, not only women that have chronic illness or looking to manage symptoms, but also women that are healthy, how to have a cannabis health lifestyle. So we're going to be introducing that program. But for now, come to holisticcaring.com and you can check out all the different programs that we have. We have programs for health professionals, for patients, for industry providers, and we have individualized, customized program, disease specific. So definitely check it out. Really, really excited to be part of this. And I'm also really, really excited that we're going to have more nurses coming on the show. So you all, this has been an awesome show. This has been an awesome show. This has been an interesting show. And let me just tell you, we did the best we could. That's it, right? I showed, look at even my screen's screwing up. Look at that. Everything is so off today, but it's okay. Things can be off and we can still be on, right? Cup of joy, living your best life, helping others do the same. Don't take things so seriously. Remember, it's all going to work out in the end, right? It's all going to work out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out, it's not the end. So remember, everyone, peace begins with me. Inhale, Ananda. And remember what it's all about. It is about living your best life and helping others do the same. Can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you so much for joining us.